Austin Eckler rushed for a pair of 1-yard touchdowns, and the Chargers have qualified for the NFL playoffs for the first time since 2018 with a 20-3 victory over Indianapolis on Monday Night Football. Hi, I'm James the Faithful Angelino Sports with a rapid recap of Chargers football. And if you enjoy talking about the Bolts, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We talk about them virtually every day. Yes, I am broadcasting from up in Anchorage, Alaska. Totally watch Monday Night Football, but let's not talk about me. Let's give you a little bit of updated information. Now that the Bolts are in, they currently have the number 6 spot in the AFC playoff bracket. If the playoffs started today, they'd be in Cincinnati. They cannot earn a home game, at least in the first round, because the Kansas City Chiefs have already won the division. Only division winners get a home game to start. The Chargers can catch Baltimore at number 5. They are 1 game behind the Ravens, both teams with 2 games left to play. The Chargers can also fall to number 7. They are only 1 game ahead of Miami, which is currently number 7. And the Chargers have 2 winnable games left this year. They will be playing the Rams at SoFi Stadium next weekend, and then they finish the regular season up in Denver. To give you a little bit of historical context, Brandon Staley was the outside linebackers coach for the Chicago Bears the last time that LA reached the playoffs. Obviously, Justin Herbert has not played in an NFL playoff game. The last time the Chargers were in, Phillip Rivers was the quarterback. He led the Bolts to an upset win in Baltimore before the Chargers got eliminated by New England. Now, as for this particular game itself, I didn't think it was that well played, to be honest with you. You would have to tell me where it was well played. You could make the argument that the Chargers defense did show up again. After all, this is the 3rd consecutive game that the Bolts allowed 17 points or fewer. So that part I would agree with you. And there are other things as well that I would agree with you about their defense as well. But the game, I did a preview of the game earlier this morning on my morning recap. And I honestly thought this game was just as much about Indianapolis's dysfunction as it was about the Chargers trying to make the playoffs. And frankly, the Colts, they self-destructed right before our very eyes. They started Nick Foles at quarterback over Matt Ryan. They didn't have their best offensive weapon in running back Jonathan Taylor. Frankly, I thought the Colts also called a bad game. I really did. I think the Chargers sat there and said, you know what? We don't have to overwhelm these guys. We're just going to wait for them to screw up. And they did. Foles threw 3 interceptions. Indianapolis in the 4th quarter could have pulled to within a single score by going for a chip shot field goal. Instead, they went for it on 4th down, failed, and the game was over. They were 0 for 10 on 3rd down. Foles was sacked 7 times. So you tell me in the comments thread, do you believe that that was overwhelming Chargers defense? Or was it possibly that the Chargers were like, the Colts stink. We're not going to say it, but they stink. And we're just going to wait for them to self-destruct. Because LA was not mistake-free, I might add. They didn't put up an overwhelming offensive performance for one. Derwin James on defense was ejected for what they claim was a helmet-to-helmet hit. The Bolts also committed 2 turnovers on their own. So not exactly a perfect performance. Justin Herbert, however, did complete 24 of 31 passes for 235 yards. Keenan Allen caught 11 passes for 104 yards. Cameron Dicker added a couple of chip shot field goals. So the game, frankly, was never in much doubt. And Nick Foles, for his part, led the Colts offense. He completed 17 of 29 passes for 143 yards, but no touchdowns at home. The Colts fan base was calling for the 3rd string quarterback by the end of the game, frankly. The Colts fall to 4-10-1. But you let me know what you think of the comments thread. Are you confident in the Chargers offense going into the postseason? Is the defense, though, putting it together enough to give you confidence? To repeat, the Chargers are going to the playoffs for the first time since 2018 with a 20-3 victory on Monday Night Football over Indianapolis. If you enjoyed Talking Bolts football, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We talk about the Chargers almost every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Faithful Angelinos is a Kian Corta El Queso production. Take care.